Joshua Hanlon here at BrickFair Alabama 2017, and we're going to do a tour of the entire convention floor here at BrickFair Alabama and show you as many of the awesome creations as we can. So starting behind me here, we have this incredible Lego Death Star model, and what the builder has done with this is built every single floor with tons of details depicting different scenes from the Star Wars creations and famous scenes from the Death Star. So much cool details here. We have a really in-depth video we did with this builder that you can find on the channel, and we'll make sure to have a link to that in the description of this video, so look for that for a much more in-depth look at this build. Now we'll keep moving around here. This is Glug, which is the Gideair Lego user group, and I probably pronounced that wrong, so apologies to members of this lug, but they have this really cool setup. Just kind of a train town. You got some countryside here, really cool mountain. I like the way they did that waterfall. Over at the right here, you have the western scene. So there's some cool stuff there. And kind of the park ranger minifigs involved with some Indian minifigs. Then come down here, you got their visitor center. And then this direction, you get more of the town train type of layout, the train station, and the trains hauling everything here. So cool lug layout there. Then next couple of creations here are some really cool big ones from Brickmania. They have some really awesome stuff on display at this show. And this is the USS Nicholas, which is one of their large ships that they like to display at a lot of these shows. I believe this is a destroyer is what their information sign says. So there's so many cool details. They got moving parts and lights on this. A lot of gray bricks, as you can tell, and really neat details there. Then another creation on down the line here. This is the Vietnam War diorama, which you might have seen in some past videos from us. This is really cool. They have a nice addition from a new Lego set. The Beatles Yellow Submarine fits well with the Vietnam 1960s era theme here. So that's neat. You can see the Beatles minifigs on the top of the building in the back there. And again, a lot of really cool details. The blades on the helicopters all spin as well, so that's neat when this is turned on. Then down this direction, we actually have a couple of builders here. So is this your build right here? This is one of my 4. Do you mind giving us some quick details on what this is?
Yeah, this is our, so what it is, the Temple of Hephaestus, and it is actually a multi-layered build. So if you look inside here interiorly, I've built in the volcano for what should be the Isle of Limnos. This is a concept piece, not a historical one. We have a charioteer here that runs across the side. With the temple itself, I designed it to have a slide function, and then the top, you can see, reveals the interior design.
Yeah, that's a really neat build, and I love the way you did this. So what was some of the inspiration? I know this isn't completely historical, but was there any particular inspiration for some of the parts of this build?
There are 4 buildings that I used. One is the Mausoleum of Manassas over in Turkey. Another is the Temple of Artemis, also in Turkey. The classic Acropolis, and well, it's Rome, and I did use a bit of the Parthenon for some of the design features. The rest was just a little bit of research on traditional designs for Greek temples.
Okay. Very impressive. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing with us about that.
Oh, no problem. Have a good day.
You too. So we'll keep moving down this direction here. Got a couple of cool Lego cube designs as well. I like the way these are. Some nice colors on this left one. Rainbow design there. And then nice spheres as well here. So this is some cool stuff. Here you've got, so this is the mixed area of the convention. So that's why you see kind of a really big variety of creations here. Some of everything. This is kind of a cool build called Balancing Act here. It's like you got like the seal with the ball on its nose. That's neat. And then down here, some more cool stuff. All sorts of neat. You got cool builds here. This is the puppy park. I like that. Cute little build there. And moving back here, you've got the Miniland, actually. So this is something we've shown you in a lot of our tours, the mini con, which is kind of a miniature version of the actual convention here. So there's lots of cool details that you can find the larger parts of in the convention. So for instance, right here we have the Brickmania booth. So Brickmania has an actual whole booth set up here at the show. And so here's the miniature version of that. Here's their giant ship, the Missouri. That's neat. And then keep coming down this. Here's the GBC. You can see parts of the GBC set up there in the miniature version. All sorts of cool stuff here. And then to the left, we move into some kind of robotics type stuff. This is the boat race. So what they do, if you can see on that computer screen there, they go to the hotel pool and have a boat race. And so they have all these cool boat designs and then race them and do cool stuff with it in the pool. It's really interesting to watch. And they're really able to design these well. Hopefully most of them do not sink. That's generally the goal, and they can move through the water at a pretty good rate. Down here we've got some really cool Minion builds. So if you're familiar with the Despicable Me movies, you'll recognize these right away. That's some cool stuff. Then here's some of the kind of maxi figs, the big mini figs. So you've got all sorts of, that looks like sort of a baseball guy, some kind of sports guy maybe. You've got just kind of your random minifig here, and then some Spaceman Benny with his little broken helmet there as well, you can see. That's really neat. Here's a creation that I really like. This is Excavation of the Tomb, and this is done by Jordan, and this is Johnny Thunder themed, which you don't see a lot of Johnny Thunder themed builds, and really cool. He's got different layers in this showing all different parts of the excavation, the treasure at the bottom. You got the sort of grave robbers in the back there. And then you've got all sorts of guys digging at the top and stuff. So I really like this build. A lot of cool details in here, and Johnny Thunder has always been one of my favorite themes. Coming down here, again by the same builder, the ship in the background, really cool stuff. Looks like he's got some custom rigging he did on there. This is the flagship of the revered Captain John Paul Jones. So historical ship he's built here as well. Really neat stuff. Here's a fun little build. Only the best is good enough. And I believe this is a Galador themed, I'm not sure what creation or what exactly you want to call this, some type of build. And you can see the builder really went all out there, and truly only the best is good enough with that build. Coming down here, you've got some vignette type builds. So these feature different minifigs in their habitats. So you've got like the little islander guy there. All sorts of, here's a kayaker going down the White Rapids. Cool little vignettes there. Over here, you've got Micropolis. So what this is miniature, tiny micro versions of large city layouts. And builders who build in this scale are able to fit so much detail in using only just a few pieces. It's always fascinating to look at what they can do with this, the cool buildings they're able to design. Here's a set of 4 that's variation on the same type of design, all slightly different though. And so many little details to show here. Here's the up house. So you'll notice the giant balloon pile at the top of the house there, and the construction around it. Yeah, it's always fascinating to look at all of that. And then around here, some more cool creations. We got sort of a steampunk build here. Big rotors and cannons on there. That's neat. Coming around here is a cool world build. It's like you've got some UFOs and things around it. Nice little globe build there. And then here we have something that's pretty interesting. This is the mesmerizing Lego drawing machine. And what this does is it's got the weight in the middle, and that keeps it stable just going around in a circle as it draws different patterns and designs. And the builder can switch out the Sharpie so he gets different colors, and if he moves the arms around on the Technic pins, then it creates different designs as well. So it's really neat, and you can see it goes all the way around in a circle there, creating all sorts of mesmerizing designs. So it's a very unique build here at BrickFair. You don't see many creations like that. And move down this direction, you can actually see here's a paper with some of the other stuff that the builder has done, different designs from other machines he's worked on there. So then we'll keep moving around here. You'll notice we hit a lot of the vendor sections along here. And to my right is actually a new section. I believe this is new to the BrickFair shows. This is the reading rest stop. And so You've got chairs in the middle there, and then all sorts of cool Lego books, like, for instance, The Art of Lego Design. Really cool stuff like that. You've got Mindstorm's books. Over here, 365 Things to Do with Lego Bricks, and all sorts of fun books like that. Here's Medieval Lego, really great historical Lego book. So a really good variety of Lego books here at the Reading Rest Stop, where kids can sit down and enjoy a nice book. Now we will keep moving this direction. Like I mentioned, you'll see some vendors along here. Here is a cool little game, estimate, and see those pieces spinning in the middle there. That is, you use these two iPads in front here, and you guess how many pieces there are in there. And so the public can do this, and it's a good way to get people involved and win some fun prizes. So keep coming down here. This is Atlanta Brick Co. right here. This vendor, all sorts of minifigs, any type of piece or anything you could imagine for sale at this show. Over here, this section is where they do the big announcements and the opening and closing ceremonies and any talks or seminars that happen at the show. You can see all the seats are empty right now, but this will definitely be filling up during the closing ceremonies. Keep coming this direction, and you've got Clone Army Customs booth, some really great Star Wars related custom items. Highly recommend checking them out. And then we'll come back here to some more custom builds. Let's move on down this way, and we'll start down here with, I believe, some cool Star Wars. Real quick before we do that, though, we want to hit this. This is another new thing here. This is the mini golf. You can see some people. So are you guys playing the mini golf here? How has it been for you so far?
It's been pretty good.
Pretty good?
It's been pretty fun.
Okay. How many holes are there?
9.
9? Okay. What's the hardest one so far for you?
I'd probably have to say 8, which is the one with it's the red one over there.
Okay, yeah. Looks like sharp angle there. It's hard to get around. And are these brick-built sand pits?
They are. It's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Well, I'll let you get back to your game. So thanks for talking with us. Yeah. So yeah, you can see this is all sort of a Lego-themed mini golf here that they have set up, and I believe this is new for the first year. And yeah, if you zoom in on the sand pits, those are Lego tan plates. So yeah, cool new stuff again to get people interacting more, get the public involved. So now in here, we'll start with some cool Star Wars builds here. This is the Nen Carvon Rapid Deployment Station is what the mock card says here. And it looks like there's a bit of a battle going on. Darth Vader has arrived. He appears to be lifting someone up in the air. That guy's day is about to get a lot worse. And then you've got people preparing to defend here. Big battles starting. Here you've got family time with Darth Vader. I believe that's Luke and Leia around the campfire there. So this is kind of a fun little build with their trailer out in the woods there. You can see R2-D2. I think C-3PO is there as well. Fun stuff. Here you've got Ronald McDonald. So this is kind of a large build of Ronald McDonald in Lego. I believe there was at one time an actual Ronald McDonald Lego kit several years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Here's a fitness gym, and so you can see the weights and everything going there. Someone appears to be falling off the treadmill. That's not good. That's going to be painful for that minifig. And then here's a mini golf course. So you saw the real mini golf course. Here's a more medieval themed fantasy golf course. 6 holes of mini golf featuring a lifelike alligator obstacle. So don't let the alligator eat the golf ball. And then we move to something completely different with In the Trenches, World War I. So this is a great little World War I build with some cool trenches set up, some nice detailed minifigs there. Over here we've got a series of builds that kind of spans North Africa during World War II. We start at this end with Egypt, and you can see the hieroglyphics there exploring the tombs. Then we move over into Libya with the British planes and armored vehicles here. And then over into Casablanca with the city scenes here from the movie Casablanca. If you're familiar with that, you'll recognize some of these scenes. So the builder was going for kind of all of North Africa during World War II with this creation, and there's a lot of neat details. There's several moving parts in here, like the fan and stuff moves. It's not going right now, but there's some really cool stuff there. And notice particularly how he did the tiling in all the different surfaces. He uses several different patterns there. It's really cool stuff to get the floor. Here's a really neat creation down this direction. This is Low Tide on Rhodia, which is another Star Wars. This is early Clone Wars. And I love the color with this. There's some really unique parts the builder has used here. You get kind of a beach scene, and then you've got the couple of big ships coming in here, landing men and attacking. So there's lots of really amazing details. And then the way the pink, yellow, green, all these bright pieces he used as well really make this stand out. So the builder did just an excellent job here. And coming down this direction, we've got the mosaics, starting with this one here, asking the typical questions: how long did it take? How many pieces? Where can I get it? All of these things that builders hear thousands of times every time there's a Lego convention like this. And many builders have to be very patient when putting up with all of those questions. Here's a cool one. This is The Dress by Matthew Green, and really nice little details here on some large gray base plates to get that nice purple dress effect. Here's a cool one. This is smaller, but still really nice detail. A lot of excellent use of cheese slopes in this build. This is the University of Alabama in Huntsville logo. And really, really cool use of cheese slopes, like I mentioned, and nice angled pieces to get all of those letters fit in there. This is Christina, which is really cool mosaic of a lady here. Lots of nice details. You can see, used a lot of black and darker, but also mixed in the orange and pink and green to give it a really nice effect there. Here's a nice little dog mosaic. And then Hydra, which actually is a lenticular mosaic, which means there's a lot of use of cheese slopes, so that if you look at it from two different directions, it changes the design. And it's the shield and Hydra mosaic, so depending on which direction you look at it from, it changes designs, and it's very cool that way. You'll see several more of those here in a second with the Bionicle section. This is Bionalug, and they always have a showing. If you've watched any of our other BrickFair event tours, Bionalug really has a great showing at many of the BrickFair events. And you can see all these cool Bionicle builds here and their big brick built kind of logo in the back there. And then here's 4 more lenticular mosaics. So this shows 2 different versions of the Bionicle builds. These were done by Andrew Boltopt, who's a really talented Bionicle builder, has done some great builds over the years. And so depending on which direction you look at, it shows the old or new version of each of these Bionicle characters. Keep moving down here. You got some more from BZ Power, which is the big Bionicle fan group, Bionicle Lug. And then, so did you guys work on some of these builds here?
This is us right here.
Okay, you want to describe real quick what we've got going on here? Maybe point out some of your favorites?
All right, cool. So right up here in the front, we got the original Toamata revamped, kind of. This is my self-mock, kind of he represents me. This guy, villain, super edgy villain, obviously.
At the beginning. We have
So,
parts to finish him here.
But yeah, so this is most of my stuff. Those little guys up front are mine. The rest is all his, so.
I'm back here. I've just got a few pretty simple character designs. Got it's one inspired by a jackal, kind of Anubis from Egyptian mythology. Got some sort of demon here. And these 2 are of kind of species idea I had. They're revenants. They're kind of weird alien zombies almost. Not quite, but that's the best way to describe it in TLDR. They're really weird. This one's got a giant peacock tail or something. It was really fun to build. That was actually what started the mock. And then this one, this is probably one of my favorite things here. So simple. I'm gonna try there. The sheath. So simple, but it actually holds the sword, and I'm gonna try to not let that fall over. I'm just gonna put it down. Sheath does actually work. Really simple, but it's kind of cool. I only brought 4 things. He brought way more than me, but
Well, that's cool stuff. So what do you guys find is kind of what attracts you to building Bionicle versus, I guess, your more normal system type builds that you see around here a lot?
I think for the most part, for me, I fell in love with the story. You know, when it originally came out, I've been a fan for pretty much my whole life. So it's kind of, for me, the storyline, and I find that it's sometimes easier to kind of work with the Bionicle system as opposed to, you know, say regular system, just because it's just different. I don't know what it is, but for me, sometimes I feel like it's easier for me to achieve something that looks good, you know, as with the Technic and Bionicle pieces, as opposed to like standard system bricks and stuff. Sure. So
I think on my end, it's really more, I tend to be better at visualizing characters than I am at visualizing a structure. Now, we are kind of planning to move into system a little bit more for BrickFair Virginia and possibly next BrickFair Alabama, but in this case, it's just more because I can start a character and finish it without having to do a massive 4-month-long project or something. I mean, this guy was the product of a year of work just because it took a long time to reconcept the character. But it's more because I can do unique things, I think. Because, you know, when you look at BrickFair, you've got a lot of big, fascinating structures that are really well done. But when you come to the Bionicle section, you get a lot more whimsical things, I think, where they're kind of a bit more odd.
Yeah, that's a good perspective there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for showing those to us. We'll come down here. We got some more Bionicle creations. Are these your builds here?
Yes, sir. They are.
Okay. You want to point out a few of your favorite details here?
So, me and my neighbor actually worked together on this one. This one is called the Omega Dragonis X. We worked on it the day before BrickFair, so it was kind of a last-minute thing. But we just got a big bucket of Bionicle parts and put them all together to make it just look cool.
Okay.
So,
very impressive.
Yeah, and then my neighbor built this one himself. This one is the Titan Dragon. And so he did a really good job on it, I think. And so I decided that I would bring it here since he can't come to BrickFair. He's a little too young for it, so.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you showing those to us. So I think this just about finishes out Bionicle down here then. We've got a quick mosaic here, and I think that's the end of Bionicle section. So we're going to come over here and make sure we hit the Greater Florida LEGO Users Group. There's a really cool display here. And I think we have the builder over here, so we'll see if we can get a word from him real quick. Hello. So if you don't mind just sharing with us real quick, what is this setup?
This is a amusement park display, part of the 60-foot one that we have. We have the Lego Ninjago Japanese Gardens, and we have the roller coaster, the water ride, and putt-putt course.
Okay. This is very cool. Now, is this collaborative between several LUG members or all you? How did that work? Just you? Okay.
Just me.
Yeah. Well, very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. So we'll keep moving right along here then. So that was the Greater Florida LEGO User Group. And then here we have, if you're familiar with our Great Ball Contraption videos, which I know many of you have watched, this is kind of a big version of the Great Ball Contraption. And so this builder uses, I believe it's the Duplo balls and a lot of Duplo pieces to get this going in. So it's a really big Great Ball Contraption. He's got train track here moving stuff. He's got a nice little tunnel here that moves the balls up and uses some of the old skateboard set pieces to create the little funnel there. So this is really cool. A big Great Ball Contraption, which is a very unique build. You don't see many of that size. And then coming around here, we've got some really neat builds. This is The Walking Dead. So I believe there's got a couple of different scenes here from The Walking Dead. And all sorts of inspiration shots in the front here and everything. You can see what the builder used to make this scene. And a Walking Dead montage here. Keep moving this direction. So another cool Walking Dead scene here. Some great landscaping work done there. Got river monsters. It's a really cool. You can see kind of the part stumping technique for the studs in the water to make the nice wavy effect there on the river. And then some 1980s space collection. So you see some of the older space sets there. Some great stuff. Here is Minions, another Minions related build, and this is superheroes in the form of Minions, I believe. And so you can see Captain America there. I think you got some Wonder Woman, Robin and Batman in the back. You've got a Ghostbuster, Spider-Man on the left over here, Thor, all sorts of cool stuff here. This is Minion-related superheroes. Then you've got the Studweiser wagon, so kind of like a Lego version of the Budweiser wagon, which is cool. Famous horses there. Did a really good job with that. And then around this direction, we've got really big. This is kind of something you see at several of the BrickFair shows. Like to put this on display. Big Lego City police banner. Here's Star Killer base scene. Really lots of cool Lego Star Wars minifigs in this display. You'll recognize this from the Star Wars movie. So lots of cool stuff to see there. And then another smaller Star Wars creation battle going on down this direction. Then here we have some more of those kind of big maxi figs type of builds. So you can see the minifig on the hand of each of these, and that's the normal minifig size. And then you've got the big giant minifigs with the Flash and Wonder Woman and Spider-Man and Batman and all of these here. Or Superman and Batman. Lots of cool stuff there. Then you've got your little BB-8, which is a really cool, super detailed build here. Got the sphere perfectly done to look just like the BB-8. Here's a cool blockade build. Did you work on this build? Do you mind sharing with us real quick kind of what this is and how this all works?
Sure. So the blockade is our Lego arcade. It's got a bunch of video game characters and things like that. We also have a lot of like arcade units that are currently lit up and some random flashing lights on the inside, some motion sensing lights when you walk by.
Okay. Yeah, that's really neat. So is there stuff on the interior then, or is it just the lights?
The roof comes off, and then there's also a way to like open up the back door to get a little more to reach in and move things around and stuff like that a little better. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up though. I just put in some new wires, so there's wires everywhere on the inside.
Right. Well, that's really impressive. Cool, unique build there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then down this direction, some more Star Wars battle scenes here. And Arkham Escape. So you've got Mr. Freeze, some of the Batman villains attacking the city here. And then here's some sort of pixelated type arts, mosaic type builds. You'll see some Luigi, Mario builds, that Wreck-It Ralph there on the stand. The Tyrannosaur, Jurassic Park build. You get the big hole in the fence there, flipped over car, some nice details. And then here's some really nice custom minifigs. And builders spend tons and tons of time working on these. It's amazing the detail they're able to put into them. All sorts of really great designs from video games, movies, anything you can imagine, TV shows, comic books, lots of really neat custom minifig designs. You can even see, here's a look at kind of the workspace in the back here. All these paints and the paint brushes that the builders use to make these custom designs. Coming down here, I think we have some more custom minifigs. So what are you working on right here?
I'm working on a Spartan from Halo.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Josiah made the design, not the design. He molded the design from it, and it was made by PicoVem, right, Billy? Yeah. Okay. And right now I'm just working on weathering a shotgun.
So when you're working on this, what type of materials are you using here?
I like to use Procreate, Citadel paints, any brush I can get my hand on, folk art. A lot of the stuff you can pick up from Walmart, Gamer's Workshop. There's a lot of things you can pick up. Billy actually knows a lot more about this, so if you want to ask him any type of stuff, go ahead and ask him.
Okay, so and what are you working on over here then?
Right now, I'm working on some Game of Thrones figures, Robert Baratheon, working on a dire wolf, but I've been working on a lot of Game of Thrones figures recently. I got a huge selection over here of them, and it's basically just stuff like that. And I finished some Hannibal figures, so right now, just a bunch of TV show figures. Yeah.
When you're working on these, do you try to get screenshots from the show, or how does that work?
Yeah. I'll get like a bunch of screenshots, like 10 or something, and I try to focus on one outfit. And what's really important is the details in the face. The slightest wrinkles, the little quiver of a lip, that's what really sets that figure apart from others of the same figure.
What do you find is the hardest part about doing these minifigs? You've got all these kind of art-related tools around. What's the most difficult part for you?
The most difficult part, a lot of people would say that it's getting the likeness close to the person that you're basing it off of. But me personally, probably sculpting. It's not too difficult for me, but it takes longer than most of the other processes in the customizing field.
Well, thanks for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. This is some excellent detailed work you've got going on here.
Thanks. All right.
Have a good rest of the day. And then here's a really neat build. Did you work on this here? Yes. Okay, can you explain real quick kind of what this is and how this whole contraption works?
Well, yeah, so we were in Brick World, Chicago, and saw a young lady did a really nice art job of her face. And I said, as soon as I saw it, I said, well, I want to do Sophia and tie it into my Walking Dead mock. So if you look at it from the side, it looks like a bunch of random Lego figures, and obviously shine a light through it, and it puts the image. And I actually worked on a translucent here, puts the little red on her shoulder where she got bit, which turned her into the zombie, and the eyes are translucent. There's this Lego string that's cut to the right length, and then light through. So the challenge that I had today was I had set up at home, and I numbered where each stack went and then bagged it accordingly. But when you get here, the light's different, so it kind of changes everything. So even though I had already done it, it took me 6 hours to reassemble this to get the image correct. So
very impressive. Well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. So I think that finishes out this section. So we'll move on then here. Make sure we show you all these creations. To my right here, you'll see all of the crayon coloring area. This is another interactive thing to get the kids involved. And then we'll move over here. Lots of cool stuff to hit. Got some really impressive builds all along here, and I believe we have the builder right here. So I think you've got several builds. If you just want to give us an overview of what you have on display here.
Yeah, sure. Hiya. So I've got a few things on display. This is a family collaboration. The first is our Star Wars Death Star trench run. Okay. It's about 8 foot long, and for someone with ADD symptoms, it was a nightmare to build, but really pleased, and we're pleased with that one. We always like to do some Star Wars builds. And then we also have our Harry Potter Quidditch, which my son Zayn and I worked on last summer and built. He's a huge Harry Potter fan, and we wanted to bring it again to show it off. It's a good mock for girls and boys and grown-ups to all enjoy. And we've changed a few features in there. Some of the minifigures have changed. I think we're going to change out and have some Ravenclaw fly with Hufflepuff today. Eclipse Graphics custom made those minifigures for us. So
awesome.
Yep. And then on the other table we have my son's designs, which he's made some little Minecraft mini builds. I helped him with the background on that. And then when we worked on the way of displaying it, he decided to build himself a Terraria, which is a video game. So he's 10, kind of into video games, and he built this 2D display. Couple of Star Wars Rebel builds, and then we have the Jabba's Palace, which was a pre-Christmas build. Couple of days, we're trying to occupy the kids, keep them laid down, stuck them in the Lego room. One of my favorite scenes from Star Wars. And at the moment we have Leia as she walks in with Chewbacca. And she's going to see Jabba try to sneak in, release Han Solo. We know that doesn't work out too well as a plan. But I really went for a nice, smooth palace design. So people have enjoyed that as well. Okay. And then additionally we have another Star Wars build. We went to Rogue One, got inspired, played some Star Wars.
Definitely.
great one. Went to play some Star Wars Battlefront, and we hadn't seen anyone build Rogue One, which is the transport ship, which is what Rogue One's named after. So we wanted to have the landing scene on Scarif where the rebels land. They aren't suspected. They sneak off and they start their infiltration process. And this was my first real attempt at a huge ship all by myself with no help or inspiration from anyone else. And I was really pleased with how it looked. And the dark gray was fairly hard to source at short notice, but I managed to get there. So, and then our next one, and I hate to keep saying, and then there's more. And wait, there's
You have so many cool creations to talk about here, though. It's very impressive.
Well, thank you. And we're local, so it's easy to bring it, right?
You don't have to worry about planes or anything.
Yeah, so this is my daughter's fairground world. And I have to give props out to Lego. They built a Lego amusement park, which is absolutely amazing for little girls. And my daughter got it for Santa Claus for Christmas. And we'd been working on a theme park with some brick coasters, so some third-party bricks. And when she got her set, she said, I don't want to do that. So after Christmas, we built her set and we figured out a way to kind of integrate it into a theme park. We used a Ferris wheel, put some nice pink pastels in there, but we had an abundance of tile. So in this mock, we have over 20,000 tile pieces that she and I laid together, and my wife actually managed to play around with it as well. But if you look around in there, we've actually got the Beyond the Brick characters. Not sure if John's going to find them, so we'll see if he's lucky. And John didn't make it, unfortunately. We went with Matthew.
Add him in later, maybe.
We might add him in there later. So we'll see if he's found them. There we go. I think you're videoing cats. Yes. So that was Maggie's design.
Perfect.
Yeah, and adding some little power functions to this. It's been popular with little girls coming by. At one point, my son and 4 of his friends were standing here looking at it, and I was like, this is really cool, guys. Look, you've got all these Star Wars and Harry Potter, and you're watching this. So, and then we have a little collection of my favorite thing that we have, period, here is my daughter has some maracas that she made. And they are 2 little dragon eggs, and I turn around and she's got these little dragon eggs on sticks and she's shaking them around the house and she's walking with them, and I was like, that's a pretty cool build. So she's like, Maggie's maracas, so we decided to put them in, so they're right next to that. But
yeah, very cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing with us about all your builds. That's some really impressive stuff there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So.
We'll keep moving around then, show everything else. Okay. Some really great stuff here. All sorts of really cool builds there. So I believe, in case we missed these, here's the maracas that it's talking about. Just wanted to make sure we showed those. Those are very neat there. And then we'll keep moving down this direction with some more cool Star Wars builds here. So is this your build? Okay. What is happening here?
So this is the clone base on Cardia, and what's happening is that the droids are trying to take over the whole planet so that they have complete power over all of the resources that are good on the planet.
Okay. Thank you. Very cool. Looks like it's coming along nicely. And down this direction, you'll notice, if you haven't noticed by now, there's a lot of Star Wars here. Star Wars is a very popular theme at all of these conventions, and you always see a lot of really impressive builds from there. You've got the Arkham Asylum gate. Really cool stuff there. And then coming on down this way, some more Batman, Star Wars. Here's the encounter on Jakku, which is another Star Wars scene. And then move around this direction here. You see this is kind of some work in progress, builders working on different things at this table. Really, really great stuff. Here's kind of a beach landing scene. Star Wars, and then here's little Battlefield 1 vignettes. So this is from the new World War I themed Battlefield game, which is really cool. It's a preview of the main mock he'll be bringing to next year's BrickFair. So yeah, you'll see a big, cool Battlefield-related mock. You can see the British Mark V tank. Always love those little builds. Here's a clone supply base. So this is a really neat, large Star Wars build. Some cool details here. And then down this direction, this is Erebor, which you'll recognize from The Hobbit. So lots and lots of gold in there. with the dragon smog hiding under all of the gold. And you see all of the different characters around the sides there, so that's really neat. Here's a large Star Wars build with tons of clones, droids, everything you could want in a Star Wars build here. Large battle going on. And here's a nice forested scene. The trees add some really nice details in there as well. Then finishing out, Noah Hennings has some neat builds here, Star Wars builds that finished out this section. So then we'll continue to take you around, finishes that set of tables, and we'll come back around here. This year, BrickFair Alabama has expanded even larger floor space, so there's lots to show you. I want to bring you down here and show you this section here. Make sure we don't miss this stuff. This is the train section. Some really neat train builds all along here. Wesley Higgins has this is the Alabama Theater. It's a Birmingham landmark here. Nice historical building. Really neat stuff there. There's that London Underground tube. So it's a train modeled after the London Underground Piccadilly line. Famous iconic look there from London. And around here you've got some really nice trains and city layouts as well. I love how in the trains in the back there, several of these cars, you can see the graffiti on it, which if you live near train tracks and have ever had to sit waiting for a train to go by, you'll notice most of the cars will have graffiti similar to that on them. So nice details there. And come around this direction, you got a really cool layout right here. This is America's Railroad. Did you guys work on this build? This is your... Okay, you want to give us a quick overview of what's going on here?
Okay, well, this is a mock of the Durango and Silverton Railroad in Durango, Colorado. And it poses a unique challenge because it's actually a narrow gauge locomotive. And it's got counterweights on the outside of the wheels, while most don't have that. So it made it very thick, but it was a lot of fun to make. Put a lot of extra details in it. It's an incredible, incredible railroad. You ever go to Colorado, definitely put that on your list. Things to see. It goes through the mountains. You'll see incredible scenery. Goes along a big river. Excellent opportunity for kayaking, boating. But yeah, I worked on this on and off for several months, and I actually brought it to BrickFair 2 years ago and decided to go ahead and bring it again in conjunction with the railroad. They're kind of working with me on it, helping to promote the railroad. Hoping to make a set on LEGO ideas as well. So hopefully folks will see it, like it, share it, and enjoy it, and go to Colorado and ride the railroad themselves.
There you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate you giving us an overview of that build. Very impressive.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, really great stuff there. And then we'll keep moving around here. I think we've got some more train town layouts. There's a Birmingham sign. A couple of interesting little modular type buildings here. Alabama Power Corporate Headquarters, again by Wesley Higgins. Cool town layout here, the really nice variety of buildings. I like the Chinatown, San Francisco area there. Then here's some more cool layouts. Here's a city playground. I like how the builder did this with all the different playground, zip line, sandbox, all the cool stuff there. And then kind of finishing out here, you've got another nice town layout, the roads going all the way around. Did you work on this stuff here? Okay, you mind giving us kind of an overview of what this layout is involved with here?
Sure. So I'm part of the Magic City Lego users group. This is our modular mocks. We've got, I think as you saw, shops and Pizza Huts. We've got the stage here, and then just try to build town scenes that you might see in any town USA. So it looks like something that people would recognize, people connect with. Light them up inside so people can see what's going on inside, and then have a little fun with some of the minifigs and things that are Batman saving somebody with the gorilla. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's good stuff. And Magic City, I believe, is the local Lego fan group here in Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham group. Yeah.
Very cool. I think you guys have got a great display here, so I appreciate you talking to us about it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll make sure to keep moving on around here and show all this stuff then. Lots of cool stuff left down towards this end. get out of the gate here and come over to this direction. We've got a series of really cool military builds here, starting with a nice aircraft carrier. This is the USS Enterprise. It's really nicely detailed, some cool tile work there on the aircraft carrier. And then here, okay, if you come around the back, we're being told there's some cool details around the back as well. We don't want to miss this. So check out all of the cool details here. It's always great to see these large, really nicely well done military builds, which are very popular at a lot of the LEGO shows. And then here we've got a series of planes done by Michael Nelson, who's just a really great builder. Had a chance to talk to him about a lot of these earlier in the show. He does all sorts of great detailed work. You saw a glider. Here's a B-25J Mitchell. Over here you've got a B-24D Liberator. And a lot of these have moving parts on them and things. The ball turrets move. Down here you've got another version of the B-25. This is from the Doolittle raids. And then here you've got a series of the German jet fighters and bombers from towards the end of World War II. Lots of cool stuff there. Here's a series of German vehicles in tan as well. And then moving on around this corner, you'll see lots of a really nice variety of weapons here. You can see the builder showing them off to the public and everything. So yeah, really cool stuff there. And then over here you've got the Bounce House, which is comes to most of the brick fairs, been around for several years. The BrickFair Derby, which is another way to get the interactive stuff going on, get kids involved. The kind of Pinewood Derby, but with Lego there. Then another interactive sections over here, the Stay and Play, massive area here. Not many people in here right now, but as more public comes into the show, you'll get more people involved. You can build whatever you want with all the pieces in here. Actually, a pretty nice view of the city of Birmingham as well from these large picture windows here as you're working on your creations. And out here you've got one more bounce house over here. This is the Wipeout bounce house. So lots of ways to keep the kids busy at the show here when they aren't looking at the builds. Now we'll move back towards some more of the mocks here. And I think we're going to hit the castle section, which I was very impressed with this year at BrickFair Alabama here. Lots of really cool castle builds. The castle builders just really did an amazing job this year. And we'll start with this one here, which is the nice big medieval village build with some cool landscaping rock on the left side. You've got the castle in the middle and then the village over here on the right. Builder did a great job with all the little details in this. So many cool, the older medieval minifigures and newer ones. Lots of moving parts too, like the gates opening in the rock monster is really cool. I like the way he did that. Then here you've got a series of smaller builds. Some more really great details all throughout these with the minifigs. And then here you look at the way the builder did the snow on this one is really neat. Layering that on top of the ground like that. And the trees with the white and orange leaves. And here's some more really great. This is by Mark Erickson. Did a lot of this work here. Very cool stuff. Do you mind just real quick sharing some details about this and overview what the build is?
Certainly, yeah. This is Clarendon Castle. It's just a castle scene. It was originally going to have minifigures attacking it, but we had to improvise when one of our friends wasn't able to make it. So we have a dragon battle going on. It's basically just a large castle with a waterfall and a river guarding the entrance. So It's very secure from attack, except from the air, so the dragons are in an advantage in this situation. So, yeah.
The air is their weakness. And I notice, is that a staff favorite award there?
It is. It's my first brick, and I'm very, very happy about it. So
Awesome. Congratulations. I'm glad you were able to get that. So it definitely deserves it. This is an incredible build. So thanks for talking to us about it.
Yep, thank you.
Lots of awesome details there. Definitely look for a more detailed video of that build on the channel as well. And here's Highlander's Castle. James Burrows, really talented builder, and this is a really cool castle that he designed with lots of great foliage and details at the bottom, and then building up the kind of main keep area there. And you can see he incorporated a dragon as well, because every build is better with dragons. Here's not really your typical type of castle. It's kind of a floating rock type design on top of some pick-a-brick containers there, and it's got pink towers at the top there, so almost a fairy tale type effect. I really like that. It's definitely a different type of design that I think the builder pulled off really nicely. And then coming down around here, we've got, this is another very interesting design. You can see that I love the way he incorporated the round platforms at each end into the angled, almost triangular towers here. And also used some of the excellent brick face pieces there to pull the towers together. So sort of almost steampunk type thing here going on, incorporating different elements from medieval and modern themes. You can see kind of a cool gunboat going underneath there. I like that as well. Here's a creation inspired by a newer Lego theme, the Nexo Knights. So you don't see many of these builds. So this is a Nexo World by Danny Pecora, and a really great little build here. The bridge and everything incorporating many of the Nexo Knights minifigs and pieces. So that turned out really great. We'll come down here. And here you start with a bunch of Modulex related builds. And so Modulex you might have seen in the past. We've talked about it a couple different times. I believe we have one of the displayers here. If that's right, it is Beyond the Brick. If you don't mind, real quick, for people who aren't familiar with Modulex, just give us a quick overview of kind of what you have on display here.
Sure. So Modulex started in 1963. Lego tried to do something with standard system bricks to make buildings, but the scale wasn't right. So they created these. They're not only smaller, but they're a 1x1 is a perfect cube. So it's a great building standard. They marketed it to architects. And they did that with special elements between 1963 and 67. And then they started using the bricks for wall planning boards and schedules and systems. Added some colors, but it's not made anymore. So now we just have it here as a part of the Lego history.
Yeah, and it's great. And you use this for a lot of cool mocks as well. You know, it's not just for architects and things like that. You can make some really cool builds out of it.
Right. It's got about 11 different elements that you can put together, and as you can see, we've got a lot of different fun mocks put together, and it's just great for people to see these little tiny, very different color palette bricks that many people haven't seen before.
Exactly. Well, thanks for sharing with us. I appreciate it. It's a really great display you've got here. So we'll come down here and show this because there's so many different parts to this display here. You can see a variety of all the different pieces and colors. And cool glass display case with some of the original packaging, things like that. And if I'm not mistaken, one detail I always find interesting is that they actually included glue, right, with some of this?
They did. There's two kinds of glue, glue A and glue B. Glue A was a glue to put the bricks together themselves in the models so they wouldn't fall apart, and also to create custom-sized windows. And then glue B was to put the base plates onto a base.
Okay. Yeah. So there's some official Lego glue there.
I also think those are the very first, what I would consider minifig or people that they ever created. These people here are not ones that I built. Those were actually part of their catalog.
Wow, and that is a very small version there. Cool, though. Yeah, so that was actually part of the official Lego catalog. Very nice. Thank you. And then finish out here with some more of the Modulex. So yeah, So many cool things you can do with those smaller bricks. We'll exit this section and keep moving around here. And we can do the space right now. We'll start right here and then move around the whole space section. So it looks like, are these your builds right here? They are. Okay, you mind sharing kind of what you've got set up here, if you don't mind real quick?
Sure. So starting down here at the end, we've got some classic space mechs. Moving down, we've got more of my own original designs down here. And then towards the end, we've got stuff that's all kind of anime based. So Gundams and some other anime down here. Okay. Yeah.
These are really impressive. I love the detail you're able to get with these. When you're working on these, I know you mentioned anime. What's most of your inspiration from? Are you using screenshots from shows, or how does that work?
I basically start by building the joints first. So I come up with, how is the joint going to work? And then I test it out and see, is it sturdy enough? And then maybe it'll get incorporated into a larger build. So I just have a library of different joint designs that I want to try. And that's really where it starts from.
Well, thank you. That's really impressive. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. Yeah, lots of cool detailed builds there. And around the corner, we have some large spaceship build here. This is the USS Intrepid, but imagined as kind of a large spaceship. And so you've got kind of the flight deck to take off from there. Lots of guns all over the outside. You've got the main control hub here and a large cannon on the front to blast any of the enemies. And then here's a large Star Wars landing vehicle. Some cool detailed ships on top there as well. And some more really great little creations here. Did you work on these? Okay, you mind sharing with what we have here?
Sure. They're all different mechs. My original didn't survive, but the second one was the kind of yellow-orange. And then I just kind of progressed from there. I've been noticing a lot of comments about the globes. These are from old Star Wars sets, and I kind of just got tired of pushing around the buckets that I was sorting. So I thought, I could stick a cockpit in there and legs on the side and get another mech out of it.
Yeah, that's a really unique design feature, using the globes like that as kind of the center part of the mech. I like that.
And I think they look pretty cool. And then this one I had a lot of gold pieces I didn't really know what to do with, so they're good for decoration. And then the one on the end, it hovers, but everybody thinks it's submersible, which is fine. It's got that capability too, I guess.
It's open to interpretation.
Exactly. But now my kids want me to fight them. They're constantly asking me to fight them. So I think maybe next year we'll fight them. We'll see.
They wouldn't be good kids if they didn't want you to fight them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, well, thank you. These are really impressive. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
Some more space-related builds down here. Some old classic spaceship designs down this direction. Really neat stuff. Some smaller creations. Here you get to a large kind of moon base monorail layout. I really like what the builders have done here. Did you work on this?
I did a little bit. I did this little section.
Okay. Well, can you give us just maybe an overview of the whole thing here and kind of how this all works?
Uh-huh. And so, have you heard of the monorail standard before?
A little bit. You wanna bring me up to speed on it?
Sure. So each person can take any number of 48 by 48 base plates, and you just have to have the connectors on the right spots in the middle of the base plate and at the right height, and then you just bring them to the BrickFair, and we'll find room for all of them. So this is like 5 or 6 guys built all of this. We've got that guy over there. He built a bunch of these connectors. He brought like a ton of connectors. And we've got some Chris Giddens stuff here. He also built a bunch of M-Tron stuff. We've got M-Tron, Blacktron, Space Police, Classic Space a little bit, and mine is from Galaga. And then one guy brought all of this track. So that's pretty crazy that he has that much.
Well, that's great. And if you want to give us some more details real quick on your specific build here?
So it was my first time actually building a set on LDD and bricklinking all the pieces. So I got this from Bricklink and actually met one of the people here who gave me the pieces for it. And the only reason I have these plates on the side is because this is all dark gray 2x4s and some of them were sticking down. So I had to cover that up. And yep, I got a couple Star Wars guys. But I switched them around so that they're not exact B-wing pilots because it's a Galaga ship.
Well, that's impressive. Thanks for giving us an overview of that. Appreciate it. Thank you. Come around the corner here and show some more of it. Lots of great details here and all the cool moving monorail parts as well. You even see a Waffle House here. So this is something very big in the South. On my drive down here, I think we lost count of how many Waffle Houses we spotted as we were coming into Birmingham. Okay, so this is one of the kind of original moon base modules here, a classic Waffle House design. They've got the big tall sign there that's very recognizable, so I really like that. And we'll come down this direction with some more cool spaceship designs. This is a really great one with some big guns on it, pods and things there. And then here's some more mechs, kind of a Captain America themed mech there. And then to finish out this section, I think we've got some cool mountaintop monastery here. And so you got kind of a landing pad. So this is almost a space themed kind of thing. You'll see he's incorporated some lights in it as well. Then some of the really cool rock work there to make the mountaintop monastery. And I like how you use those kind of trans-clear shields as the stairs pathway there. Okay. So exit this section and keep on moving around here. We've got to the right is kind of a Duplo ball contraption. You start at the top and you can follow the big Duplo ball. So this is similar to the big ball contraption we showed you earlier. Follow the Duplo ball all the way down the track. Looks like it's making its way down here right now. Give it a minute here. Slowly, almost to the end of the first tables. About ready for the big drop down the fun slide. There you go. Different contraptions so that it can keep going lower and lower through that slide. And to the end down here, they've got the Duplo pit. There you go. Cool stuff. Over here we've got the Brickmania booth. So I mentioned this earlier during the Minicon section. Brickmania has a really big showing here. A lot of cool stuff on display. All sorts of brick arms and cool Brickmania kits. And then here is the massive USS Missouri, which we've shown before on the channel, but it's always incredible. No matter how many times you see this build, it really blows you away. It's hard to even describe how incredible this creation is. It's just so massive. So it's always a huge hit with the public. And then there's some really neat mosaics of famous World War II era historical characters back there as well. And you can see there's hundreds and hundreds of minifigs on the deck, tons and tons of details. I believe right now it's set up, all these minifigs are set up to depict the Japanese surrender at the end of World War II, which took place on the deck of the USS Missouri. And so that's what they're depicting currently. Come down here to the other end of this. And so if you don't mind, can you give us just a quick overview, a few details of the ship here?
So USS Missouri, it's I guess the two most asked questions: 26 feet long, 1,000 pieces, 300 custom minifigures. Yeah, and then all the turrets are mobile too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is massive. How long does it take you to set this up at a show?
Actually, it doesn't take that long. I think last time we timed ourselves took about 23 minutes.
Okay.
It's actually pretty quick. Then it's just details if anything gets broken on the travel. But yeah, otherwise it's actually pretty quick setup compared to other displays.
Yeah, really great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's the incredible USS Missouri. Now, come back across the aisle here, and you've got the Tennessee Valley Lego Club. So this always has a big showing here in Birmingham, a massive train and city layout. Start here. This is a big carnival area, all sorts of moving rides. Really nice details there. You see a lot of stuff you'd see at a carnival. Here's a giant roller coaster, which I really like. This is all brick-built roller coaster. And you can see the car heading down the track. And it comes back around for another spin. It's really impressive. Did you work on this here?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us maybe a quick detail on how this works and how you set this up?
Yeah, I guess so. Basically, it's just a big lift chain going up. There's a whole bunch of Technic pins and barrels that are all stressed beyond what they're supposed to be. It's not actually an original design. It was done a couple years ago by a guy whose site is now shut down, but his YouTube videos are still around. So I got the kind of the design for the track there, and started modifying, making the cars a bit different. Did a loop, and I'm not sure what kind of details you're looking for past that.
No, that's really interesting. Then I guess as far as the display as a whole, so you're part of the Tennessee Valley Lego Club, right?
Yes, yes. So I focus primarily on carnival kind of amusement park stuff. We've got steampunk, city, trains, all that.
Do you know how many builders as a whole worked on this entire thing?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably the person you'd want to talk to is right there, named Jenny. On the whole collaborative display.
I'm sure it was a lot.
At least a dozen. Probably a lot bigger than that. She's kind of like the spokesperson.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people involved though, and so then how do you guys usually plan this out as far as making sure it's all going to fit together when you get here?
Okay, so pretty much what we'll do is we'll each kind of commit to about how many tables each of our areas will take, and then from that we've got one person that kind of coordinates like the overall layout. Like, here's your 6 tables of carnival. Then this many tables of steampunk, and then like a central track layout, and then we're kind of each responsible for our layout inside our small section. Then just kind of going back and forth about like, okay, what's next to me, make sure we've got a decent transition from each group. Sometimes you can see like right here you've just got track between them, so that makes it an easy thing, and then over there between amusement park and some of the city stuff, we just make sure we got a good sidewalk. So use a program called Blue Brick to go and put in all our different stuff to move it around, get a good layout going for all the different components. Usually each thing has like a little leader for a section that so if somebody wants to put something into amusement park, because not all this is me, then they just say like, okay, here's what I got, where can this work in, and then we just kind of do it, send screenshots back and forth, and then we just show up on the day and really hope that it all works out.
Hope that all puts together. Okay, well, thank you. That's interesting. I appreciate you sharing with us about that. Thank you.
No problem.
We'll show the rest of the layout here then. So here you've got nice kind of sand play area, city layout there, all the nice roads and trees. Cool long kind of row house building there. And then here, very interesting, you got the steampunk type of monorail through the big station there. And then large tower, I really like that tower design there. All sorts of cool details in this whole layout. There's so much to look at with the moving trains and all the different city buildings and everything. And then back here, we might have to move outside the gate. There we go. Thank you. Move outside the gate to show the rest of the layout here. And is this part of your build? Okay. Can you explain how this works? You got so much track running in there.
We got a lot of track. We have an awful lot of track here. It's a double helix. It runs all the way up and then all the way back down. But I have a bunch of switches in it, so I can run 5 trains at once on this without them crashing into each other. It's a whole lot of fun. This is why nobody else can have monorail track, because
you've taken it all.
Have it all.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. How does this thing transport? Does it kind of break down by layers, or?
Yeah, I take the track off the ends and then sort of stack it up. Okay. It doesn't transport well. It takes it takes a couple hours to set it back up. But I've been running this for a couple of years now. One day I'm going to build a big one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, even higher. Well, that's really impressive. Whoa, we lost a train there. We got a man down. I imagine that happens more than you'd like on this layout.
It's critical when another train's coming. You have to address this really fast, especially when we have the very long Santa Fe train coming around.
There you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing with us. Thank you. We will continue showing the rest of the display here. Lots of great stuff all along here. It looks like I'm doing well. Yeah, it's nice to see you. It looks like you've got some cool stuff set up here. What is that you're working on right there?
I'm putting Maersk back on because I want to bring the little Halloween train back around, that one that just derailed down there. Okay. That was a little creation that I made that's got some animation in it. But yeah, we've been working on the trains, getting the track polished. We're still running more 9-volt track than we've ever run. But we've got a combination of the 9 volts and the power functions, and of course Charles got his monorail. But yeah, this is one of the longest train runs we've had, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's impressive. I think it turned out great, so thank you for sharing. I hope you get all the trains up and running again there.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get this Halloween train.
There you go. And some more cool stuff down here. Did you work on this section?
Yeah, this is the Breaking Bad section of the town.
Okay.
Yeah, just based all the buildings off Breaking Bad. This is the car wash, Los Pollos Hermanos. So
you kind of depict the scenes from the TV show then. Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Very impressive. And then here's another nice street section, kind of out almost in the forested area. Some really great stuff here. Did you guys work on this section?
Not this section.
Not this section? Okay. Very cool. We'll keep moving down, and then you see the long lines of track here, and you can actually see one of the trains has a camera in it, and you've got shows everything moving around the track there. Massive lines of track all around here. Just a lot of really incredible train builders in this group. Move around the corner here. Excuse us. Thank you. And finish out the display with some really neat buildings. Did you work on some of these buildings here?
These are all mine. Yep. So this is downtown Huntsville. Okay. Just kind of been a work in progress. Do about a building a year. But we've got the M South building here. That's the first one I did. And just some other downtown buildings. Got Big Spring Park. So yeah, this is just a sample of downtown Huntsville, which is where our club started.
Yeah, that's impressive. Do you find that people come to these shows and recognize some of the buildings if they're from the area?
Yeah, especially these ones that aren't too far from home. Yeah, you'll get some folks like, hey, that's Huntsville, and so it does get some good recognition, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, impressive. Well, thank you. Appreciate you sharing with us. Yeah. Great buildings here.
Thank you.
So yeah, lots of cool stuff, and then we come back down to the carnival area where we started here. And I got to point out this really cool Coke truck as well. I really like that design. So I believe that finishes out the Tennessee Valley Lego Club. So we'll exit this section and move around, make sure we don't miss anything. We've got a couple other small sections to show you here. Walk around and make sure we don't miss anything. To the right here, you can see the claw machines and some of the other games that Todd Webb, who runs BrickFair, always has set up for the kids and adults to enjoy. And then back here, we've got the ring toss game. And we'll see if we can grab one of these wonderful ring toss workers real quick. Okay, so what do we have going on here?
We have a lovely game of ring toss.
Okay, you want to demonstrate this for us real quick?
Andrew,
Okay, yeah, we can have the model come in and demonstrate this for us. Proper scooping technique.
People, the attendees get the either a small pail or a big bucket, and it's of rings, and the goal is to get the ring right on top of the neck of the bottle, and they actually get a choice of any of the prizes on the corners of the tent.
Okay. How many times has someone won so far? We've been working.
We had a winner yesterday.
Okay.
And he won a lovely X-wing set.
It looks like Andrew's doing excellent. I think he'll be at this for a little while longer.
People have been playing, and they're really determined to win. So it's a very fun game.
Oh, so close. Okay.
Would you guys like to try a few rings?
Maybe we might come back later. We got to make sure we finish this up here. So we can come back later and try it out.
We need to be on the brick, having a little fun.
Oh, that's right. Okay, fine. I'll Oh, look at that. I'll try one here. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh, I hit one of the jars. Yes. Is that better than some people? Thank you. Well, thanks for showing that to us, guys. Okay, so that's one of the fun games that the public can play here. And then let's see, there are a couple sections left here. We'll show the great ball contraption, and then there's ball throwing here as well. So how does this game work real quick?
You just simply shoot the ball into the fishbowl.
Okay. And if you get it in the fishbowl, you win a prize.
Yeah, green gets the green bag, orange gets the orange bag, middle gets a box set and an orange bag.
Wow, very cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Here is the GBC. So we'll check in with one of the GBC workers. How is it running today? I'm sure it's excellent. No issues at all, right?
Famous last words. Well, we've got some solutions in. Others still continue to be bugs, as usual.
I think that's the GBC motto, right? There's some solutions, but there's always bugs.
Especially when you can see this one spinning like blazes, but there's a gear missing. What happened to that? Where did the gear go?
All these questions, no answers.
I'm going scratch.
Well, we'll let you get back to work. Hopefully you can get this finished and it's running for at least a few minutes.
We have fun doing this.
Yes, and it's always entertaining watching you work over here. Okay, well, we'll take a lap around and show the whole thing. Here you can see they have a smaller section that lets the shorter kids see everything. And it looks like there are several modules working here. So they work very hard to try to keep this running the whole show. Here we go. Stuart Roll showing off his Starburst vending machine there. There we go. Hey, what do you have right here real quick?
This is a Starburst Lego vending machine.
How does it work? Can you demonstrate it for us? Is that possible?
I think you can demonstrate it yourself. So why don't you...
Okay. Yes. I think it probably goes in the quarters only slot. And then you press the yellow button. Looks like a Starburst is popping out there. Oh, 3 of them. And then the conveyor belt moves. And you end up with 3 Starbursts. There you go. Very impressive. I like it.
What happened was at BrickFair, Virginia, a couple years ago, we support the Slade Child Foundation as a charity with charity auction and things like that. And they said, hey, everybody make a bunch of gumball machines for our charity desk to attract visitors to buy things. And I said, well, a gumball machine, that sounds like that's too, everybody will do that. Let me make something different. Little did I know, Starbursts are not actually square. Okay. And the wrappers stick out. And so it sometimes jams, so it's a little bit of a pain, but kids love it. It's another neat application of how Lego can be something different and do things differently than what you expect.
Yeah, there you go. So fun stuff, yeah, and it's a great way to get the kids involved buying stuff there. So thank you. Show the rest of the GBC here. And you'll notice with most great ball contraptions, you've got a really high module at some point so that you can actually get into the whole display without having to crawl under a table. And then back here, we've got a really cool, this is the military section though. I'm sure as you noticed, we've shown several different military creations already, but this is the main military section. And we'll start down here with this Panzer Division in Holland. And that windmill was actually moving earlier. I think it's turned off right now, but that's really cool. The windmill can actually move. So it's a really nice scene there. I like the way the builder did that. Come down here, you got some armored vehicles, some tanks. It's a nice little memorial build. And a jungle attack here. It's a little micro piece usage there. And a really cool Pearl Harbor layout. I think we have the builder here. If you don't mind, real quick, just share a quick overview of what you have here. This is for the tour, so just real quick, just overview of what you have on display here.
I've got North Africa, 1942 behind me, and then the blue stuff is all Pearl Harbor.
Okay, and you kind of tell the whole Pearl Harbor story starting here, yeah.
We start off with the launch from the Japanese strike fleet. There were 6 aircraft carriers along with assorted of support ships. This is an example, larger example of one of the Japanese aircraft carriers. They launched from the aircraft carriers. Some of them came through the Kalahari Pass in Hawaii. That's where they said the words Torah, 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 announcing that they had caught the Americans by surprise. They then attacked, and of course the attack is now in force. We started off this morning, there was no attack going on, but now there's flames everywhere, planes are crashing, it's crazy. The defense is on the next module. It shows the Americans' anti-aircraft guns firing from the sides of the ships. Flames are in the water because the oil is on fire from the ships, sinking ships. The final one is the memorial. It shows the Arizona under the water and the memorial above the water.
Thank you. That's very impressive. Yeah, and definitely we'll have a more in-depth look at all of this on the channel as well. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing. So we'll keep moving around and show the rest of this here then. Then back here to the beginning of the Pearl Harbor and then the North Africa 1942 build here, which I love the ruins there. Really, really impressive stuff. And all sorts of cool things along here. And I think we have Todd Webb right here. Todd, do you mind sharing a few words about BrickFair and how this BrickFair Alabama has gone so far? We're about finished with the tour here.
BrickFair is terrible. Don't come.
Okay.
Nobody wants.
Why would anyone ever come to this event?
I don't know. Don't come here. It's not fun. Stay away. Lego is boring.
Okay, that's good advice. Where would you suggest they go instead?
Models of war and blowing up and stuff is terrible. You should go bowling. Bowling's a good thing to do.
Bowling is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, you could go golfing maybe. Golfing is a decent habit, or yard sailing. It's probably.
You can find some good deals at yard sale.
Yeah, it's the middle of winter right now, but it's like 70 degrees outside, so it's.
It feels amazing coming down here from Indiana.
Yeah, it feels amazing to everybody else too. That's why they're not here. So just stay away. Go out and enjoy the fresh air. Play some frisbee. Walk your dog.
There you go.
Your dog needs to poop. Go walk the dog.
Okay, well, thank you for those wise words. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Coming around here, I think we've hit just about everything. I'm trying to remember if there's any sections we have not shown you. I wanted to make sure we did the whole show, but I think that's about it. So thank you for watching our entire tour of BrickFair Alabama here.